So you're about to take that Christmas vacation, and in order to cope with the usual holiday drag, I figured it would be a good idea to not only point out some recent holiday horrors that I've been reviewing over the last few weeks, but also give you a list of my favorite holiday horror movies of all time. So here's my 13 favorite holiday horrors as a gift from me to you.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh my God, Christmas time again.
Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. At number 13, Hosts is a surprising little indie film from the UK from 2020. It's directed by Adam Leader and Richard Oakes, who also was responsible for last year's Feed Me. This one's about a family coming together for a Christmas Eve dinner, but plans are interrupted when the neighbors come over and they begin to act strangely. There's a whole lot of weirdness going on here, and there sure is a strong Carpenter vibe, but the film peaks at the shocking dinner scene. I'll leave it at that. Though there's also possessed people with glowing eyes like the folks in Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart video. It's also got Neil Ward in it, who's proving to be a genre actor to watch these days, especially from his performance in Feed Me. This is a super gory one, but man, that dinner scene, it's a shocker. You can find Hosts streaming on Tubi. Number 12 is Quento De Navidad, aka A Christmas Tale. It was released in 2005 from Spain as part of the 6 films to keep you awake at night, from directors Paco Plaza, with bits from George A. Romero. This is a fun story told from a child's perspective as a group of kids find a woman dressed in a Santa costume in a hole in the middle of the forest. They decide to leave her in the hole when the kids find out the woman is a bank robber wanted for a big score, hoping she'll starve to death and they can keep the money. Nice kids. This isn't the most cheerful view of the innocence of youth, but it does have a mad woman in a Santa suit going after a group of kids with a big axe. As with all of Paco Plaza's works, this one is expertly paced and never has a dull moment, despite its ghoulish premise. Think of this as The Goonies meets killer Mrs. Claus, and it's a whole lot of fun. Quento De Navidad is streaming on Tubi. At number 11 is A Christmas Horror Story from 2015. It's a fantastic little anthology that not only blends its stories together well, but has a wraparound featuring none other than William Shatner himself. Grant Harvey, Steve Hoban, and Brett Sullivan direct the quartet of shorts. A family find themselves suspicious about their son after going into a deep forest to cut down a tree. A group of teens investigate a series of murders that occurred in their school last Christmas. Santa faces off against zombie elves in the North Pole, and another family is stalked by the legendary Krampus. The film culminates with an epic battle between Santa Claus and the Krampus. That's a scary lot of Christmas goodness, and all of it is done with a fantastic production, solid acting, cool effects, and a good sense of humor and fun. This is not just a great holiday horror anthology, it's an overall great horror anthology. A Christmas Horror Story can be found streaming on Tubi. Coming in at number 10 is Better Watch Out, which was released in 2016 and is directed by Chris Peckover. At first glance, this sort of horror version of Home Alone seems like a pretty cut and dry home invasion story, but then the other shoe drops and everything is taken to a whole nother level. The less you know about this one, the better. It's got home invasion, betrayal, murder, dismemberment, everything you wished for in a holiday horror film, plus some devilishly funny scenes of mischievous mayhem. Better Watch Out can be seen streaming on Tubi. The Blackcoat's Daughter comes in at number 9, and it's from Norman Bates' son and director of Gretel and Hansel, Oz Perkins. It was released in 2015, the same year his other film, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, was released. The Blackcoat's Daughter is slightly less obtuse than that film, but it's still pretty artsy. What Perkins is so good at is establishing a feeling of utter dread in this story that spans across time and into the darkest corners of the mind. I need to watch this one again. It all starts when a girl is left at boarding school for the holidays and experiences some kind of deep evil in one of its dark corridors. This one stars a very young Kiernan Shipka from Sabrina, as well as a harrowing performance by Emma Roberts. You can watch The Blackcoat's Daughter streaming on Max. At number 8, look out folks, those kids you've delegated to the kiddie table are pissed and they're out for blood in The Children, a 2008 film from Tom Shankland. A family get-together goes to hell when the kids start acting crazy. Not only does this one happen at Christmas time, but it taps into that age-old fear that one day kids are going to rise up and murder us all. This one is dire and gruesome and manages to really tap into some great paranoia. Plus, there's a wicked sled murder that has to be seen to be believed. You can watch The Children streaming on Shudder. At number 7, Silent Night Bloody Night hails from all the way back to 1972, but having seen it recently, I can attest that it still packs a punch. A man, played by Patrick O'Neill, inherits an old spooky house with a dark history. While the townsfolk are not keen on seeing the home refurbished, a lunatic who has escaped from a nearby asylum thinks it's a nice enough place to shack up in. A very young Mary Woronov appears, and while the film has some similar plot points to another holiday horror later in this list involving calls from a creepy stalker, it is filmed in a stylistic way, especially the scenes from the past during an asylum uprising, is extremely moody and downright shocking, especially that over-the-top ending. You can watch Silent Night Bloody Night in all its bloody glory streaming on Tubi. Number 6, out of the blue, the Adult Swim's Yule Log was released last year and surprised millions with its gonzo plot, which takes samplings from pretty much every subgenre of horror you can think of and puts it all together into one rollicking fruitcake of a good time. While it may begin as a simple log fire, the film eventually continues to tell the story of a haunted house, otherworldly demons, space aliens, inbred hillbillies, time travel, and manages to set it all within the parameters of one camera pointing at a fireplace. Director Casper Kelly flexes his imaginative muscles, and they are gargantuan. If you missed it last year, try the Yule Log, aka the fireplace, this year and join in on the fun. You can rent Adult Swim's The Yule Log on Amazon Prime. Number 5 brings Silent Night Deadly Night, and it's a true classic. For the fervor it sparked in the 80s when protesters tried to get it banned, for the vicious attack that occurs in the opening moments that would scar any kid, for the awe-inspiring rampage the killer Santa goes on after he's forced to wear a Santa suit at the department store he works at. It's even got Linnea Quigley hanging from deer antlers. Many have tried to imitate this one, but the seminal slasher film from 1984 is a wonderful treat to put in your holiday stocking. You can rent Silent Night Deadly Night on Amazon Prime. Number 4 brings Krampus from Michael Dougherty. It's his 2015 follow-up to his Halloween anthology Trick or Treat, and it encapsulates all the goods and bads, mostly bads, of the modern holiday pretty perfectly. Yes, Krampus is Christmas Vacation with a big holiday demon, but just as Christmas Vacation is a new holiday classic, so is Krampus. The comedy works beautifully, but Krampus doesn't forget to sprinkle in the scares and awesome creature effects. The design of the Krampus works, as does the execution of it in action against this hapless yet deserving family of jerks. This movie is the full package, wrapped in the loose skin of the Santa mask that the Krampus wears. You can watch Krampus streaming on Peacock. Inside comes in at number 3, and it's probably the most gruesome and gory film on this list, but it is an insanely good movie about a pregnant woman stalked and assaulted viciously by another woman who wants to steal the baby from her womb. Ignore the American remake. I repeat, stay away from the awful American remake. Just buck up and check out this excellent French film from Alexandre Bustillo and Julien Maury. The pair of filmmakers really haven't achieved the level of suspense, brutality, and sheer horror since Inside was released in 2007, but they keep on trying. So if you're looking for a goppy, gory Christmas, this movie is it. You can watch Inside, streaming on Tubi. At number 2 comes Gremlins. Okay. I've done this countdown in the past and I've never included Gremlins, but I see where you're all coming from and had to give in this time. It's a monster on the loose movie, but not only that, it takes place during the holiday season. While it's not really scary, it does take me back to that wonderful time when I was over believing in Santa Claus, but I still had that youthful enthusiasm that is infectious at this time of year. The effects still rule, Gizmo is still cute as hell, and Phoebe Cates is not only at peak scorching hotness in this movie, but that story she confesses about her father getting stuck in the chimney is one of the most devastating tales you're going to find in a movie on this list. It's just an awesome holiday classic. You can stream Gremlins on Max. Finally, here's number 1, and yes, of course, it's Black Christmas. Every year I watch this film, and remember the first time I caught it on Cinemax many moons ago, in the middle of the night, and I was scared shitless at this strange but terrifying film that proved to be so influential to so many slasher films that came after it. Director Bob Clark, yes, the one who directed A Christmas Story, which is played repeatedly over Christmas, uses offbeat humor, a classic urban legend, POV shots, which were not very common at the time, and a series of phone calls more obscene and terrifying than the next one. I wish some channel would just play Black Christmas all day long at Christmas time. I'd tune in. Plus, it's got a cast to die for. Keira Dullea as an angsty boyfriend, John Saxon as a grumpy cop, Margot Kidder as a drunk student, and Olivia Hussey as the perfect final girl. Made in 1974, long before Carpenter even fathomed Halloween, Black Christmas is the grandfather of all slashers and my kind of holiday horror. You can stream Black Christmas on Shudder. Well, there you go. It's a little gift from me to you this holiday season. I hope you find one or two on this list that maybe you haven't seen, or maybe you want to revisit ones that you did. Let me know down in the comments what's your horror holiday go-to, and I wish everyone happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, Christmas time again.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside